Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you all how I created this smoked out green shimmery eye look. I couldn't think of a name for this look, so that's what we're going with. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy and let's get straight into it. So we are starting off with our P. Louise base in the shade Rumour 2 on our Rumour E1 brush, and we're just carving out the bottom of our brow and then dragging the rest of the product down to our lash line. After that, we're pressing that product down with the Rumour F5 brush. Keep in mind you only want to use little stippling motions, and you also don't need to set this base with any powders. So for today's look, we're going to start off with mapping out the shape we want. So we're using the Morphe 213 brush with the shade Lit from the Be Perfect Carnival palette. So we are taking this through the crease, starting from the inner corner and working our way out. And as you can see, I'm kind of winging it out as well. This is going to be our base shade that we blend all our other colors into. So once you're happy with the shape that you have created, I'm just going in with the Morphe 506 brush with no product on it, and we're just diffusing the outer edge. That way there's no harsh lines, and when we place our other color on top of it, it's nice and seamless. Now going in with the shade Keen with the same Morphe 213 brush and placing this shade on the outer edge of that initial orange shade. When I do this, I use little back and forth motions to try and blend the two shades together as best as I can. So now using both of those shades, I'm going to keep going back and forth, and I'm going to really try and diffuse both shades together. So as you can see, I keep swapping between the yellow and orange shade until I'm happy with the final blend. In saying that, keep in mind you don't need to blend the outer edge of the yellow. We'll do that later. We're just focusing on merging both colors together. So we're now going to lay down the shade Reckless. We're placing this just under the shade Lit. Then after that, we're buffing it out with the same brush, just with the excess product. So you don't want to add more product, you just wipe it off on paper towel and then kind of use it to really diffuse the edge of that shade. Whenever I use black in my looks, I always use a transition shade. So in this instance, I'm using the purple plum color. That way it's easier to blend with the orange rather than going straight in with the black. And then after we've placed that down, we're going to go back in with the shade Lit and use this to kind of diffuse the edges of Reckless. And I'm also using the Morphe 506 brush to kind of blend out Reckless as well. So same technique, I go back in with the two colors and just really blend them out. Since you are blending out such a bright shade with a darker shade, you just really need to take your time. Just dip back into each product lightly. You don't want to be too heavy-handed. You do want to try and get it as seamless as you can, but don't forget this shade is to add depth to the look, so it's not going to be perfect. So I'm not editing out any of these bits, so it's kind of like real time. You can see I just really go back in with each one of the products. But yeah, so I'm just working on the purple at the moment, and then I'm going back in with the orange now, just to really diffuse it. So now we're working on diffusing the outer edge of the yellow, so just taking the Morphe 506 brush with just a little bit of product on it and just going over it. It's quite simple, this step. It's not too complex. It's blending out the harsh line and making it soft and subtle. So we're now going in with the shade Lights Out. So this is the black shade. So as I was explaining before, it's easier to blend black into the plum shade rather than going straight in with black and trying to blend it out with the orange. So I'm just kind of adding that to the bottom of the plum shade, and I'm just gradually building that intensity. So I don't want to go in too quick because black is hard to, correct if you stuff it up. But anyway, once that's placed down, we're going in with the Morphe 507 brush and just using that to diffuse the edge. That way it's all nice and seamlessly blended. I feel like I say that so much. This whole video is just me like blending it out so it's seamless, and yeah, but you guys get the memo. So here's a bit of a close-up of what it should look like. So now going in with the Inglot Gel Liner in J511. So this is just a black gel liner, and I'm using this as the base to stick down the pigment. So I just take any concealer brush and yeah, just pack that on. You don't want to bring it up too high, but you just want to put it on the socket of your eye, if that makes sense. So once you have finished laying down that gel liner, we're going in with the Cactus Cactus Loose Pigment, oh my gosh, tongue twister, Cactus Loose Pigment by Peaches and Cream, and we're just applying that to the tacky gel liner. So you don't need any glue or anything. So I'm just using their PC40 brush to apply this, and I'm applying it directly to the socket of the eye, and then I go in with the Morphe 506 brush with no product and just kind of take that to the outer edge. That way it's diffused nicely and isn't just like, yeah, any harsh lines or anything. So that is our first eye done. I'm going to do the other one off camera. So now just going in with the Face by Shire lashes. They were kind enough to send these out to me, and I'm just using the style AMARA. So with any new lashes, I like to size them up, that way they don't poke me in the eyes or anything. So I sit them on my lash line and then cut from the outer edge depending on the style, and then I just stick them down with the Duo lash glue. Also guys, if you want me to do a tutorial on how I apply my fake lashes, please let me know in the comments below and I'll get that up for you. So now it's time for the base. So while my lash glue is drying, I'm just going to quickly do my primer. So I'm just using the Too Faced Hangover Primer, and I just use my hands to really buff that into my face. I feel like the warmth of my fingers really makes it like soak into my skin. This primer is also amazing. It's tacky but not too tacky, if that makes sense. So now that I've let my lash glue sit for a while, it's time to apply them. So I kind of just sit them on my natural lashes and then push them down. So I feel like I could do a video with tips and tricks, but yeah, as I said before, just let me know if you'd like to see that, because I feel like I have so many people always asking me how to apply fake lashes. So I think it would be a good idea to do one of those for you guys. So now going in with foundation, and before anyone comments, I'm aware that this shade is a bit too light, so I did run out of my regular shade that I normally use. But anyway, I'm using the NARS Radiant Foundation in the shade Punjab. As I said, I know it's not too light, but we'll make it work, guys. So yeah, I'm just applying that with the Ronya E1 brush, and then I will just use my Melissa Sassoon sponge to really press that into my skin. Also, if you haven't tried this sponge, you guys need to get your hands on it. It's hands down the best sponge on the market, and I'm not even just saying that. I feel like I've tried so many sponges and I always revert back to this one. Just even the shape of it is so convenient. So we're now taking the Tarte Shape Tape and we're going to place that under our eyes to really brighten them, and then to the center of our forehead, down our nose, cupid's bow and chin. I feel like if you guys watch all my tutorials over on my Instagram, even on my YouTube, my base routine is pretty much the same all the time. Like once I find a product I love, I stick to it. So you will notice that, yeah, most of my tutorials are quite similar. But I guess that can be an advantage for you all because I stick to the same products. So if you are wanting to purchase any of them, you won't be having to buy a million different products. Then we're just taking our sponge again and then just pressing the concealer into our foundation. So as I've said before, I use concealer as a brightening technique, and I just love the way it makes me look awake, and then when I bronze, everything just looks so amazing. Now setting all the places we concealed with my Morphe 438 brush with the MAC Studio Fix powder in NC15, and then I'm taking NC40 on my Morphe E3 brush to set the rest of my face. So I always use a shade darker for the outer perimeter, that way it kind of has a sculpting effect. So now going in with bronzer, I'm using my Morphe E4 brush, and I'm just taking that to the sides of my cheekbones, to my temple and to my forehead, also to my jawline. So this is the Sephora Clair Light Bronzer. So I've picked this up in the sale section for like $8 and I'm obsessed with it. It has kind of like a pink tone to it as well, so it really blends in nicely with your highlight and blush too. So I use this first and then I'll go in with Hoola as well, but I like it as like a base so everything blends in nicely. See, as I said before, I'm just now going in with the Hoola by Benefit bronzer and I'm just darkening it up a little bit. But yeah, that's what I do for my bronzer. It's pretty much been the same routine for a very long time. Even on my clients, I do the same thing too. So because this is such a dramatic look, I'm going to bake. So I'm using the Huda Beauty Sugar Cookie Loose Powder, and I just take that to the sides of my nose, under my eyes, and to chisel out my cheekbones a bit more. But keep in mind this does set very quickly. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't let it bake for too long. I'd just leave it on for not even for a minute. But once that has set, I wipe it away, and I love the way it makes you look so snatched and it brightens everything up. So yeah, I guess a good time frame is that I pretty much apply it and then brush through my brows, and then I'll wipe it off. So if you're a bit confused to how long to keep it on for, that's just what I do. And now going in with highlight. So once again, I'm using the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop. I've really been obsessed with this highlight lately, and again, I'm using that stupid brush that has no name, but a dupe is, well, not a dupe, a similar style, I guess, that you can use is the Morphe 451 brush. But yeah, I'm just applying that down my nose, my cupid's bow, my cheekbones, and a little bit to my forehead. Pretty much to my whole face because I love highlight. So we're now going in with blush. So I'm using the Tarte blush. It came in like a trio thing with a Christmas pack, so I'm not too sure if they still have it, but it's in the shade Prize. It's just a really nice coral peachy blush. I never used to like blush, but now I can't go without it, to be honest. Now going in with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist to lock everything into place. I say this in all of my videos. If you haven't tried this out, you need to, because it's amazing and it smells so good as well. So now it's time to bring our brows back to life. So I love doing this step when my face is still tacky from the setting spray. That way the powder has something to stick to. So I'm using the Anastasia Soft Brown Powder, and I kind of just cover out the bottom of my brow and then work the rest of the product to like the tail of my brow, if that makes sense. You guys can see what I'm doing. I do have my brows tattooed, so the shape is already there. I just pretty much have to add the color back into them. I feel like I say this all the time, but can we just take a second to appreciate how much of a difference a brow can make? Like, it's just incredible. And thank goodness I have my brows tattooed, because it makes my process so much easier and quicker. Now using the Morphe Translucent Brow Gel, and we're just locking them into place. I love how this brow gel leaves a nice HD shine to them. So now it's time for under eyes. I'm taking the shade Reckless on a e.l.f. smudge brush, and I'm just lining my lower lash line, and then I'm buffing out that color with Lit on the Morphe 506 brush. Also, you need to connect your lower lash line to the wing, so also do that with the e.l.f. smudge brush. And as you can see, I go between both brushes and both shades to really diffuse everything and make sure everything's blended. And then going in with the Morphe 213 brush with Lights Out, and just applying that to our lower lash line. And then once those three colours are down, we're going to really diffuse out the outer edge of the orange shade. So taking Keen on the 506 brush and just really, diffusing any harsh lines on the outer edge. So we want it to look really seamless, connected to the top eyeshadow as well. So I just go in and really like join everything up and make sure it's all blended nicely. So now it's time for lips, taking off all the excess foundation, and then I'm lining my lips with the Morphe Toastie lip liner. If you guys haven't tried these lip liners, I swear you need to. It will save your bank account from buying these $30 lip liners, because these are literally $4 and they're amazing. Anyways, just applying that to the edge of my lips. If you want a more full lip, you can overline your lips, but personally I feel like mine are big enough, I guess. So yeah, I just take it right on the edges of my lips. So now going in with the Honey Lipstick by Morphe, and I just apply this with the bullet and then go in with any type of lip brush to really like diffuse it out and blend it in with the lip liner. I just like this technique. I feel like you can really make it like blended and not too thick as such. And then after I do that, I want to highlight the centers. So I went in with the Too Faced Holy Chic liquid lipstick, and I just applied that to the center of my lip just to highlight it a little bit more of a like ombre lip. I don't know, I feel like I make the weirdest lip concoctions. I just add so many different lip products, but yeah, that's what I did today. So guys, that is the completed tutorial for today's look. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I've been having so much fun, editing and taking you guys through step by step with these makeup looks, because I always get so many questions on like how I do them and what products I use. So yeah, I feel like they help out a lot. Also, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also leave some love. So a comment would be nice. That way I know you guys are enjoying this type of content. Also, don't forget to let me know if you want to see any particular looks. I'm open to suggestions, and I'll leave all my social media platforms linked below. Anyways, I'm going to go now, and I hope you guys all enjoyed once again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!